Hello. Today's gonna be a pretty short stream, I think. I'm gonna do some of the Winter Festival. I don't think I'm gonna do it all. And we need to go to Naga Palace and see what's going on. Oh, I meant to shoot to plan some stuff before I got on. I got distracted because so Wicked just came out today and I opened up TikTok and somebody's playing Wicked. I was like, oh, got it already. Ooh. And my contacts came in so I can finally see out of both eyes, not just one. Slamming doors again. Get in my face more. That's better. Oh yeah. Yes, of course. It's just been more difficult than I anticipated. Yes, the vines are still a problem. I'm not sure what these things are, but we've thrown all sorts of chemicals at it and they still manage to burst through the walls. Yes, I'll talk to the construction company. I'll do it first thing in the morning. Yes, they've just reached rank C. I understand that our window is closing, but the people here are much harder to convince than I initially thought. I hope Aubrey comes out and gobbles her up. Wonderful. Now that I have your blessing, I'll put Operation M into motion. Once I'm in charge of the town, we can do whatever we want with it. Yes, sir, of course. That includes making use of that farmland and building more oil rigs and the supporting facilities around the island. I will keep you updated. Good night, sir. Mayor Karen. Ugh. It has a nice ring to it. Well, we've got a lot of work to do ahead of us. Raina, in here now. Bring a pen and some paper. First, stop yelling at Raina like that. Consider checking out the festival. Zuri purrs contentedly. And you're just gonna wait for me to come to you? Mari looks happy. I don't think it's anybody's birthday. Nope. Yeah, we might get to Lily's birthday. Oh, it's Winter Fair. Oh, Winter Festival. Wednesday. Good, I can harvest everything. I'm done. Done. Yeah, reach the savannah. Oh, that's what it was. Okay. I was gonna. Let me pull up. So, what I'm doing is I'm pulling up the pages for the offerings because I want to see what food can I buy. Kimchi. Oh, I need to make white truffle. Yeah, rare artisan. Because I can buy wine. Okay, it's vegan taco, apple pie, sarabi pad thai, esendol. I have to get, and I need tough meat. Robbie. I gotta go to, what's his name's? The fish and sips. Oh, I do have to water right there. So actually, what I need to do is move this. No, it's not going to fix everything. But okay, so there's I mean it'll cover 3. Yeah, I don't think I can put in between. It was like, which 3 do I want to cover? I'll cover right here. Yeah, because either way it's just 3. Alright. And this one is done? Yes, that one is done. Diving. In recognition, oh yes. In recognition of your service to our kingdom, King Krakatoa and Queen Nanda Devi extend an invitation for you to visit Naga Castle. We look forward to welcoming you at the castle. Roots above. Make haste, you've been summoned. Ooh, 1,500. Not a ton, but you know. I'm not really pressed to do these. Heart. I don't... Not interested. The next one I want to go for to build up hearts is Noah. 10. Alright, 10 o'clock we gotta be somewhere to be. Put food together. Right. No. Let me move some of this stuff because I remember I was doing too much. I don't necessarily want this right here, but I want mayonnaise instead of. I did separate them good. And that's trash to scrap, yes. And then I can take what scrap I want, make glass, because I'm not going to be making tons and tons of glass, but at the same time, glass, you know what I mean? Oh, thank God the milk pail came. I forgot about that. So happy. I was not looking forward to having to figure out what to do. Let's go in here. All the loudness. Yeah. I'm gonna get the ones that didn't need anything, but thanks for 2 milks. And extend. Oh, now I have to get more money because they're expensive. Bronze quality. Okay. Is it 13 that I get? Now I can get pigs. Llama that I can get? Yes, it is 13. I looked up the salted eggs don't sell for as much as hey did. 2. Be happy, happy. Gotta figure out other names for quail. Wait, what else do I have in this chest? Large butter. See, I didn't want. Oh, good quail mayonnaise. Good, 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 good. Um, and I don't have a cheese. Yeah, see, I'm not doing this to the fullest. I could have put eggs in there. There. Okay. So I gotta remove that and put one of the cheese press. Alright. Oh, and do something when I come back tonight and it's all finished working. Ooh. Do that. Oh shit, we don't need that. I mean, I don't need to take everything. I want to put this down here by these. Because. And I need to clear this stuff while it's winter. But I want to make sure I put a chest down here. That's right. And I'll put the bugs and the sap and resin so I can keep stuff together. Yeah, okay, so we need to move in. Library? If it's not the library, then we... Silver. Okay. Need silver kelp. Keep these. Ooh. Told me. And actually, while I'm on land, you know, I'm on land, so. Okay, no sense in running there. They fast pass, or not fast pass. Whoa, fast travel after I get my goddess blessing. No blessing. Hey you, what are you doing here? Looking for books? Of course, I guess it was just a nice surprise to see you here, that's all. I didn't startle you, did I? Oh, check this out. I was reading some new article about the giggling fairy. Apparently this guy... Oh, tell us to keep it down. It's the library. Oh, hey, Millie. Sorry to hold you up on your way out. I'm looking for information about the giggling fairy. You know it, of any books in particular? I don't recall off the top of my head, but feel free to look in the new arrival section if you want. Awesome, let's check it out. Follow me. This section might have what you're looking for. There's more in these boxes, just don't make a huge mess, okay? Got it, thanks, Millie. So yeah, where was I? Oh right, the giggling fairy article. I'm sorry, I got distracted. So this guy woke up around 3 in the morning. That's the time the giggling fairy always comes out, you see. He woke up because he heard a disturbing giggle. He saw a green light in his garden and went out to chase it. How wild is that? I would have just stayed inside exactly and taken a picture from my window. Noah is smart. This isn't the first I heard about this giggling fairy phenomenon. It happened another time to a lady on Turtle Island. That time the clock struck 3 a.m. and she said the giggling fairy was deafening. It shook her. She followed the sound and there was green light everywhere. She said she saw a fairy sitting on a branch swinging her legs, and then the lady passed out. Now I must admit, that's really odd. I've been trying to find out more of the story, but I don't think there are many articles about it. Maybe I can go to Alice, see if she's found anything about it. Doing your free time? No, I'm gonna say, that's interesting. I know, right? Working at the tavern sure sounds dull compared to reading these articles. The giggling fairy, flying saucers, giant crops, three-headed whales, what? You name it, I try to read about as many phenomena as possible. I see why you and Alice are such good friends. Yeah, three-headed whales. Two-headed whales, three-headed? Quite a shocker, huh? Let me tell you more about it. But first let's grab some books and sit down. We can talk and read together if you want. I'll make us some hot tea. Alright, let's see if he has another one. Oh. Nope. something else. Oh. Oh, this is Charles. Okay. This is the town parks. Well, I have a fish in the fridge. Will that be enough? Hee hee hee. Yeah, that's enough. Millie loves fish. Some tells me that means she hates fish. Really? Sounds a little weird that she likes raw fish. Charles, let's not be stupid. To each their own, I guess. You thought Millie hated fish, see? Cause... What do you think? Don't tell Charles, let him figure it out himself. What about flowers instead? No, flowers don't agree with me. I don't need my allergies acting up in front of her. Oh. Why don't you want them act up in front of her? Gotcha, ha ha ha. At least they told him. Kids. If you'll excuse me, I have to get going. I need to find Millie. I kind of owe her a book. I'm a bit scared to tell her I lost one of the library. Wish me luck. See you later. Okay. Here's another one with him. Charles. Nope. Oh, goodness. Got him back to back. I didn't know I had one with Sam. Hey there, just the person I was hoping to see. Good morning. Oh, I think I know this. Morning, we were just talking about you. Join us for some tea? Love to join you. Well, I'm gearing up for a new project. I could really use your help. I think this is new. We're looking to expand the local section of the store with fresh animal products. Ooh, hoo, hoo. But there's a catch. I need eggs and milk to get it started. If you need small milk and small eggs, don't do that to me, Sam. Since your produce was such a hit, I was hoping you could help us stock the store with animal products. Think about it. It's a great initiative. The community would love to have more local products. Would you be interested in helping us out? It's a simple task. Ship some eggs and milk to the store. I'm gonna ask what's in it for me. Let's head inside. I'll show you where everything will go and give you more detail. I'll let you two get to it. I'm heading over to see Erica. Oh. I didn't send him all of that, but okay. As you can see, there's already a space for the new products. We'll need 10 eggs and 5 bottles of milk to kick things off. I'll start gathering those things. Okay. Just place the items in your shopping bin and we'll handle the rest. Your help means a lot to both of us and the community. To both us. I'm gonna take a pay cut. You're telling me. Now, there's somebody, I should say. Yeah. I think she comes here super early. See what she sells. Is Fish and Chips closed? Zara, let me say hi to you. Oh, do you feel that wind? You want mooncake? Well, this is nice. Thanks for sharing it with me. Welcome. Oh, we went to bed late. Let's eat the last jamu. Or a mooncake, I mean. Might eat jamu. But I need to get... And... Did I open the fast travel spot? What time do you open? I know you open today. Closed on Wednesday. Alright, let me see what they sell since he's open. Coffee cookies. I know that. No. Is this open now? It is. I'll give this to our friends. Darn it. Yeah, I gotta go to Naga Palace. 9, 10, 11, 12. 240. Garnet amethyst. Did I have amethyst? I think I've had everything. I think I had magic lamp a long time ago. Nothing for Ling. Okay. Go and make sure I've loaded them in. Whatever. Hi, Bon. I'll stop and say hi. Yes, I do want to just stay and pet Bon all day, but I can't. Go to the temple. They said that they fixed the bug. Doesn't matter because oh no, you didn't. I need 3. I only needed 1 last time. It's still bugged. Alright, so actually, which ones? Because I'm not going to come here until I have all 3. You're not playing me like that. Ruby, diamond, and black opal. I lost it. Yes, and I know that I need those. Fruit juice. Ruby, diamond, and black opal. Go to the museum just in case. Gave a silver spoon last time too. Okay. It's in my nerves. I don't have stone, do I? Sorry, Archie. I go to Naga Palace. Oh, okay, thank you. Welcome. Today we bear witness to an exception. It is your strength of character that saw past initial doubts and persevered. We confess that when you first arrived, our hearts were filled with uncertainty, yet you did not allow our hesitation to deter you. You healed our coral tree, restored vitality to our kingdom. Your actions spoke louder than any reassurances. Oh. Today we honor your unwavering spirit and bravery. We present to you the seal of Naga, the highest honor in our kingdom. This seal symbolizes trust and friendship and represents to enter and leave our kingdom at will as a cherished friend of our people. With this seal, we also pass on our heartfelt gratitude and respect. You were once a stranger, now a friend. Our kingdom will always remember your heroic efforts. As for our final order of business today, we have been tasked by the goddess to summon the spirit of the coral tree. This will rid the lands above of lingering roots. That's good. To summon the spirit, one must blow the golden conch. We all agree that the honor of doing so should be bestowed upon you. That's very nice. When you are prepared, please visit the coral tree under the cover of night to evade prying eyes. The oracle will guide you further. Wait until nighttime and visit the coral tree. Alright, so what I need to do is go get some silver. Kelp. If it's not edible, well, I don't know what I'm gonna do with all the sea salt. Ooh. Got you before. Well, maybe not. I have one more spot. I need to focus. That's fine. You got your cousin. All this lollygagging is not necessary. Let's go fast. Yikes. A lot of stuff over here. Yeah, I could totally eat something. Excuse me. I can eat two more something? I don't like that. Eat that. Oh, I did have something. Nothing else is singular. Gonna eat that. Okay. How we get back? Let me go around here to get kelp. Leaving all this food just Doesn't feel right to me. None of it is the same. Oh my goodness. Oop, oop. I'm pretty sure I don't have that. So, I will be emptying something. Yeah, I don't have mantis shrimp. Trash, you're just gonna have to go. That's cool. No? Alright, well, I know if I need more food today. Come down here. People are jamming. Remember to go back down there at night. Still aren't done. Let's do singular. That I need to put away. We go to the museum. Oh, I did have a mantis. Okay, well, that's fine. Ruby Sea Dragon. Oop, wrong one. I don't even know why I have this stuff in here. See, I need these fish. And, well, I'll take a regular puffer fish, even though I think ooh. Yeah, that'll be the first. I didn't donate a pufferfish. Let me go grab that pufferfish and donate it. Or the Asian sheep's head. Okay, if I have another Asian sheep's head, I'll do it and pufferfish. Ay, come on. Well, and what else do I need to put in here? This and this. And then I need to get glass so I can make, what is it called with the essence? Let me get the rest of the as well. Sheep's head and pufferfish. Yep. Yep. And glass, where you at? Another one. I could put this stuff in here, right? Yeah, because it's not gonna do anything with it. Oh, it took all my cow. Took on it. Oh well. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. Make some decent money tonight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oops. 6, 7, 8. All right. Let me also see the pamphlet. It doesn't tell me what time. Hold on, Kenny. Kenny, I'm serious. Is this for me? Thanks. Winter is always so quiet. Hear that? Basically nothing. Just faint music far, far away. Don't worry, I hear it too. It's nature's froze. Can't hang out with it? Oh, it's not an alphabetical order anymore. I'm like, what is happening? No. Yeah, we haven't hung out at all. Can we just not hang out because of the festival? What is going on? I urge the kids to keep active during winter. Hopefully we can keep them healthy the whole season. Blue can be very nasty. I hang with my friends. Oh, there's Taco. Now that it's winter, there are massive electronic sales everywhere. I might check out the electronics district in Pokio. Let's see how the week goes. Do you like pickled stuff? You're a nice person, thank you. That means not rude. You like that to people too sometimes. Oops. Everyone's gone over here. Hi, Betty. Are you eating enough, dear? I look like I'm not. Want the pansy? You, it's very considerate of you. My only advice is to keep experimenting with your cooking. Frank always has an eye out for new recipes to. It's great to see you here. Is this the festival? So much to do, so little time. I wish I could split myself into two sometime. Not every day do we get to see this area so dolled up. Ben here has quite a winter collection. Have you checked it out? It's so pretty here. I'm gonna see if Dad can buy lights like this for my room. The things here don't exactly come with budget-friendly price tag. Thanks for heads up. Yeah, he increases the price. Coconut de mer. Very rare and usually hollow. Ben, I can't buy anything from you because you it's the price. Wait, what? Oh. Oh, these are all discounted. Oh, hold on, hold on. I might possibly want some slim fit jeans, and because of that, I feel like I gotta get them here. Because it's on sale. Look at that. And purchase 10 clothing items. If they didn't change my hair the way This tea is my lifeline, keeping me warm. Without it, I'd probably turn into an icicle by tomorrow. Oh, look at all the pretty things. I can't decide. You probably like food. That's very kind of you. Thank you. Oh. They'll forget about it, girl. Let's try to give him crotches. Whoa, you really went all out with this whole gift thing. I don't know what to say. Are you farming this winter? Not anymore. Oh, it's you, Human Farm. Zippo was sharing stories about the days when they used to perform. So many funny anecdotes. This view, the atmosphere, it's all so beautiful, isn't it, Darl? Kind of like you, you beautiful soul. Okay. I don't usually come out to fairs, but this one is nice. Let me go ahead and change clothing. Since we're here, you know. Let me see what the jeans look like. Oh gosh. We'll keep our skinny jeans on. At least now. There's Dippa. Can you believe this doctor? She's hilarious, this one. Oh, there are 2 bugs. I don't think I have that one. Oh well. Get it next year. But I can skip this stone further than anyone else here. Sure you can. That Raj. This town was already a snack, but with these holiday sprinkles on top, bam, it's a full-on dessert buffet. It's all about the presentation. Jim, Jim, no? You wanna say hi? What about Theo? I'm trying to come up with a song, but I'm drawing a blank. Maybe it's the universe telling me to just chill and soak in the moment. Oh, a fruit. Thank you. Can I talk to you? I figured I'd stay near the clinic just in case anyone needs help. There's more people. Suki is pretty upset about Antonio. I would stay away from her today if I were you. What did Antonio do? Nothing like a hot cup of tea on a cold day. Well, maybe a good company. Care to join? I don't think we talked yet. The temperature has dropped tonight. It really has. My fingers are cold. Luckily, this jacket is nice and thick. It's cool that they come in right times. My mom is right there if you want to talk to her. I'm busy playing with Bonbon. Oh, excuse me. We're here to talk to Kenny. I'm just building a snowman. Do you want to build a snowman too? Sir, this is not snow. What are you doing? Whoa, did you see that? I'm pretty sure I saw a flying whale. Gotta tell Paul. Can you even see that far? No, we're old, but gee. Just soaking in the winter fair vibes. What are you up to? Trying to figure this winter fair thing out. Heard horror stories about truth. Skip it for now. You know what I gotta do? I've never seen the beach this crowded before. have to keep an eye on the time. The journey back home isn't exactly a short stroll. Oh, honey, we can't stay out too late. I could really do with a hot cup of tea. Saw Surya enjoying one. Any idea where he might have gotten it? I gotta go underwater. Uh-oh. I'm not going to focus much on work today. It's cold and I could use some downtime. I know that's right. Do want to do at least one of the mini games tonight, but I also have to go underwater. Oh, it's blocked off. Alright, that's fine. Let's go home. So I'm gonna find a bunch of stuff. Is that it? Okay. Oh, I also heard. Yes, so we can plan our outfits. Oh, oops. I didn't mean to take everything off. Or put it back on. But I will put this. Oh, we can name them too. That's cool. Hi. Let me see if I have some fid. Oof. They're still not finished, okay? Alright, well, let's go underwater. Finish the coral tree stuff. I don't even know where the coral tree is. Do I have the right ring? Yes. Oh, that's probably it. Go the other way. It looks like a tree. Let's try to work smarter, not harder. Oh, hi, sir. Oh, Adventures with V, my favorite land dweller. I don't remember you. Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. It's right here. Greetings. Her fingers. Before us lies the Golden Conch, an artifact of significant historical and spiritual importance in our kingdom. It's believed to carry the ability to summon the spirit of the coral tree. It is no small task that you have been given, and we trust that you'll perform it with the same courage and determination you've shown us so far. Take the conch adventure through the and blow into it for 3 seconds, no more, no less. Is this my moment? Patience, everyone. These are ancient magic and the workings of the goddess. We must trust in their ways. Ooh. Like the grandma from Moana. Pretty. What was that? Oh, was that Ling? Yeah, that's really safe to do during the winter festival. Everybody's outside on the pier. They're not gonna notice. What is that? I didn't know that existed by my farm. Huh. Okay. And you don't want to tell us anything else, so we will go back to the pier to do at least one of the mini games. Okay, so we can go there. Okay, we are in one piece. Oh. I do want to empty my pockets. Because of what I read. It's not that far. Oh, everything but one. Well, I also want this here because now that we're not underwater, I can put this in my diving area. What's the other ring that's in here? Ring of speed. Yeah, let's put that in diving. And then we'll run down there. In order to make the most money. I had to stop and think about it. Geez, just one? Okay. Oh yeah, because I don't have... Okay. Okay. Okay, that too. That will give me a lot of money. And what's this over here? I left in this. 2 milks. Can put that in the back. I do want cheese. The large. Put this. Because I don't think milk can. Yeah, no. So I'll put that here. Oh, wait, I saw that there's some cheese done. Good to sell these 3. And now let me go do MR code. Go here. It's a fair. Okay, it sure is. Oh, you poor thing. It must be so cold out. Have a seat and warm up. Oh, this is cute. And talk to Frank. It's hard to get out of season produce around here, but I really need to make. I need some to make some tarts. Not where I want it. Oh, farm. Game gives you hints on what NPC fave items are. That's good. That's wool. Large wool? Oh. That's watermelon. That is a large egg. Okay. White truffle. That is cucumber. That is lily. Okay. Radish. Don't say that. Cocoa bean. Garlic. Papaya. That is a lemon. Ginseng. Banana. You're horrible. Olive. Taro. That's okra. Cran? Okay. Gesha? Oh. Okay. Well, I won. Good. Large Gesha bean. Do forage. Ooh. Yeah. Green sea urchin. Lotus. Grapes. Purple. Oh shoot. Calico. Okay, cool. That is shiitake. Perfect. That is matsutake. Blue mussel. Cherry stone. Okay, I just got some of those. Okay. Ooh. So, know this one. Ooh! Looks like ginger. Oh, I have one of those. Barnacle, yep. Amber pen shell, I just got some of those. Yay! Okay, now I don't know about artifacts, but we're gonna try. Oh, that's coal. Coal's an artifact? Recycling? Was that compost? I don't know this. Yeah, I haven't had that. Mushroom log. That is a salted. Oh my gosh. Tofu? It looks like tofu. Aging barrel. That is green tea. I need to get some for what's his name? That's a quail. Womp womp. I didn't get anything. Oh, salted is blue. Okay, thank you. That is... shoot. Extractor. Okay. That's cheese. Mushroom. Cool. I see almonds on the package. Aging barrel. New update has a bug. Beer. Oh well. I got 9 again. I'll come back and do this tomorrow, I think. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna keep doing this one. This is gonna be the one that I do for the night. I'm gonna win this. I did that last time. Oh shoot, why'd I put keg? I'll do it again. That was the top. You're not telling them because it helps you. They fixed some of the bugs today. And one of them, yeah, one of them was something that I was like, darn it. Okay, so this is century. Ooh. Or salted. Oops, that's what I meant, salted. This is quail. Didn't look like a regular cheese wheel. Okay, lumps of sugar. Okay, I knew it wasn't sake. That's sake, right? Oh, the aged sake. Okay, I can do more. Tap. That is the goat cheese wheel. Oh. Keep getting merit points every day. I'm gonna tell you what the recycling machine. This is sugar. Oops. The barley beer? Okay. And this was... yeah. Was that mayonnaise? Was that duck mayonnaise? Got more than before. So I keep getting points for planting the trees, and I'm in winter. So yeah, I don't know why that's happening either, but I'm not upset. Oh. This is goat cheese. This is extractor. This is the furnace. Oh. I keep guessing olive oil and none of them are. I've never seen that before. Oh, that was truffle oil, okay. This is fermented. That looks neat. Wheat flour? No. Coffee. Yeast press. Wow. Won by the skin of my teeth. Got lucky. Alright, well that's good. That. Well, trivia is done. I'm never going back doing it again. And then the next couple nights I'll do the others. Oops. And it's 11. Let's run home. That's cute. Just nice being here with everyone, but it's a bit overwhelming. We'll stay overwhelmed with everything though. We'll be in bed by midnight. See what they want to tell me about farming with Jeff Smith. He was raised in a farm. Sprouts. Oh. Thing called the town board, errand board. Check it often. Made pretty good money. Good for him. You want to come over here? We can. Cool. So do we get another heart with you then? Oh, we gotta wait. Okay. Go to bed. Oh, I could have put everything in my pocket. See? Replanted Purwool forest. I'm in winter. Isn't that spring? Like spring or summer. I keep getting 150 points, so thanks, bug. I didn't even talk to Leah, did I? I didn't even talk to Wataru either. I just walked past him. 9K? That's a good day. Oh, goat cheese, quail mayonnaise. Oh. More winter festival. Whoop. Let me look in the recipe book. Essendol, can I make that? No? Okay. No pad thai that I saw. Yeah. I've had so many shrimp, I feel like. Sarabi. Oop, light just went out. Alright. What we'll do though is get some buck jerky. I'll go visit it and see what that's about. It's so clean. Can you believe it? The pesky oily roots are gone. It's a miracle. Our beach is back to normal. Look, Mom, look how pretty the ocean is now. Folks, this is a cause for celebration. I'm not dreaming, right? Everyone here can see that our beloved ocean is clear again. Maybe a large school of fish ate the roots? Hear me out. It could be aliens. They landed, took samples, and the roots got sucked up into their spaceship. Maybe it was those giant invisible sea cucumbers I've told you all about. Invisible sea cucumber? Well, if we're all tossing out theories, I have one of my own. It's possible that our very own farmer here might have had a hand in this. Thank you, Ling, for recognizing. Regardless of the cause, the crucial thing is that balance has returned to us land dwellers and our ocean-dwelling friends alike. Well said, Ling. I'm sure we're all relieved that the roots have disappeared. Let's fully enjoy our beach once again, folks. Here's a recipe for roasted chestnuts. Oh, good, because I have so many chestnuts. I've had one too many, sick of them now, but it's a great and easy meal to make. Oh, Kira, you could have kept this. Recipe for spider tempura on the back of this letter. It isn't my first choice for a meal, but it doesn't taste as bad as it sounds. Ugh. Let me look at chestnuts. Bunch of that. Oh, I always do that every single time. Oh, in the frying pan. Okay, so I can make it. Ugh, gross. Gourmet salt. Oh, it's fancy. Fetching proficiency, and this gives you foraging. Oh yeah, we're making this. Okay. Get nasty. Cool. Left the water is the trees because I'm over it. And 4 and 2. Four and 4. 4 and 4. Perfect. I don't know. I do just want to buy this stuff. Online shop. What? Oh no 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 no. Home decor? Do people actually decorate their house with this nastiness? I mean, I kind of like that. Not gonna lie. I think I might have to get the standing lamp. Oh, the fireplace is interesting. Pufferfish merit exchange? Wait, I'm confused. Oh, okay, it's not pufferfish. I'm gonna need a bunch of this, so let me just... I think I have 13 animals. Grab a bunch and put it to the side. Okay, so we don't want seedlings, we want saplings. Because apple, yeah. Oh, it's gonna take a lot of money. Hold on, what do I want to buy? Maybe some animals. Let me see what animals we have. I don't need to. Let's see what animals there are to buy. I know I have space in my coop. Oh, I know it's too early for that. What was I thinking? I was gonna say I can go in the forest. Oh, I don't think I went in the forest yesterday. I didn't get any wood. What was I thinking? Or kind of exploded overnight, huh? Yeah, let me just leave one of each. Okay. What we need. I need to get osmium ore, to be honest, because I need that to be osmium. But I also need that to be silver. Take food. Why not? leave the fossils. Take that in case I see Archie. Yeah, let's go to the forest. Ooh, how's that? Once again, I don't have the butterfly. Ooh. We have that butterfly. Oh. Oh, Zara. Oh, hey, surprised I'm not doing something amazing right now. Even adventurers need to eat every once in a while. Wait, that came out a little harsh. I'm sorry. Everyone around here thinks I'm some sort of heroine who's always having daring adventures. Either that or they think I'm a mooch who lives off a trust fund or something. It seems like everyone has an opinion about me. I don't know what kind of sandwich is that. But this is just your basic veggie sandwich. Nothing tastes better than roasted veggies on a bun. Okay, she likes vegetables. It gives me a lot more energy than junk food does. Look, this was fun, but I need to finish eating and get back to exploring. Okay, bye. And you're sick. And here comes... Or is that butter? Excuse me, that's strange. I wonder if they're... a cat around. Look, you're cute, but... I'd rather enjoy my lunch without sneezing. Uh-oh, where's the other? Where are all these cats coming from? Shoo. Can you give me a hand? I'm okay, thanks for asking. I have a mild cat allergy, but don't worry, it isn't anything terrible. I just didn't want cat hair in my food, that's all. Now I have dirt all over the sandwich instead. I'm gonna go home and eat. You're good, right? I'll see you another time then. Oh. No, I'm not taking a walk. I found this lady. See, she is actually the one who docks. Good. Okay. Well, you don't have what I need. I don't need any of this. I need... And I was hoping she would sell stuff for the... I don't really go to the night. Thursday, okay. Do they sell anything that you can use to give to Goddess? That's honestly, I'd be willing to pay for it. Yes, in the museum. Okay. Yeah, I know they have the museum. They have a lot of artifacts and fossils. It's the black market. Yeah, it's tonight. Ooh, I think that's the one that I keep passing up. Mhm. Yeah, good I don't have it. I've already donated that. Trade this stuff out. Ooh, we're selling these. Since I got that stuff, let me see if there's any I get from my coop. That's not a quail. No pigs are there. No, I could pass. 4, so there are only 4 available. Need to get another barn to move my animals over. Everything else, just pigs. Okay, let me get it. Let me get one. Because I did say in the coop. And are there any bugs in my... Oh, yeah, it's birdwing butterfly that I keep running past. Okay, so I've gotten all of them. I just need to donate that. Just move all of the... Could be food. to be doubling is don't have donated. Let me. Scared me because I forgot I. Oops. There's probably 15. She didn't have to eat last night. Oh. Joe? What's the. Alright, so what egg am I gonna give him? He can have that one. Have that milk. That's what I'll do. I'll give him bronze and silver stuff. So that's all he's getting today. Wait, before. Bronze and silver, that's all you get. Okay. And I need the cheese over here. But milk and garbage. And this, doggone it. To be done. Okay. Do I have to get you started? I will. And why is the garbage not being processed? Doesn't exactly want it all to be, but see later. Make sure I don't have stuff to sell. And I don't have stuff to sell. We full? Mm. Okay. That's it right now. Yes, it is. Mm. Get some more silver. We can make gold. I don't know why I bought that. Also, what kind of bars do I need? Let me go ahead and upgrade this today. Tough meat. It's fine. Oh, I need the glass. Oh, I must still have that outside. Mm-hmm. I mean, honestly, I could stay out here. Titan, Titan or rum block, honey. Battery needs to go. And let me get some wood. Wait, did I put the wrong one? I sure did. Let me see if I can upgrade. Okay, cool. It's just 5. Three and 5. Okay, I need to get some osmium bars then. I need to get 12. Yeah. Oh no, I do have 3,000. Cool. Here, I got some food for you. Hold on. Running farm must take some serious planning, deciding what to plant and when. Yes. Thanks. Great and all that pufferfish is struggling, but Pablo is getting on my nerves. Yeah. I swear if I had to listen to his puns about vines one more time, that is funny. Oh, we can hang out. I think that you can't hang out with people. Turf Festival. Space. Let's go in for some stuff. Oh my gosh, she did not like sunshine. I need to check my fishing. Didn't check that yesterday either. It's lacking. Need to do that when I go to the forest. Shut up, a silver arowana? We also need that for the actually no, I don't think I need that anymore. Then I think I just need the koi. You come to check up on Fun Bucket? That's sweet of you. Oh, he's still sick. Quack. Don't worry, little boy, I'm not going anywhere. Going to catch up with Adventures with V and I'll be right back, okay? Look, this is your favorite part. What? Oh, the TV. Oh my gosh. We've gone from quecks to queeks. Not very encouraging. Boy's sick. Getting around it. He wants to watch TV? Just a montage of old men feeding ducks in the park. It's his favorite show. I'm not worried yet, but it's hard, you know? Fun Bucket's my oldest friend, and I know he's getting up there, especially in duck years. I'm just trying to do whatever I can to help him feel better. Oh no, my hot water bottle. Huh? Ouch, ouch, ouch. Okay, Fun Bucket, we've got your hot water bottle and a fresh healing crystal to put by your chair. And it's time to take your temperature again. Okay, okay, calm down. I'll turn it right back on. Honey. He can be a bit of a drama llama. If I get another chub, I'm going to move this into the mine. Ooh, okay, we got a crab. Take that. There's, oops, stuff over here. Don't need you, butterfly. Box. Ooh, okay. Be multiplying. Well, hi, Walker's dad. There she is, the beautiful sea without them rotten roots. You're welcome. Hold on. You like pickled fruit? Pickled shallots? That's a no. Now let me drop stuff off. We'll go to the mines. Get rid of wood. Or well, all the bugs and all the fish down there, so I don't have to wonder. Think, oh. Oh, I didn't eat my roasted chestnuts. Oh well. I have bug jerky on me, right? Oh. Ale. Oh, that doesn't need to be. And what else does it need to be in? Technically those don't, but I don't have space. Ew. Oop. 5 o'clock. All right. I decide, am I gonna get osmium? Or am I gonna just blow through? Blow through this one. What I need are those 3 rare gems. They keep glitching. Hold on. I am not getting 1 geode. Changed the geode rate. Make this my last level. And go to the festival. Happy. Boo, no geode. And only 8 ore. That's ugly. Fish away. Although what's done, we can make some money. That's done. Oh, these are going slow. I guess not. Here. Fish. Down there. Oh. Brontosaurus. Have anything I Gosh, 150 to 9. I can use. I should go. See, let's see. Oh, perfect. Wanna play with us? Anyway, Waku was just trying to make that shot. Go ahead. I did not even see Waku there. We were just talking about our respective work. What's the most challenging aspect of your watering? Hate watering crops, so dull. Oh, that's what I need to do. To check the requirement. Nice places. Frankie, thank you. There was a time when I would kill to have a common name. The one's easily spelled like Frank. It was pretty common. Every now and then my name got mistaken with Alice. Ew. One of my grade school teachers simply gave up and just called me Allie. I had no problem with it, but mom wasn't happy though. You can spell fuchsia for a color, you can spell Aaliyah. Definitely. Easy for her to say, her name is Betty. No use of being upset, I get used to it now. Can I talk to you a minute? I still haven't told my family about the astronaut program, so let's keep this between you and me. I have an interview scheduled with the program leaders in Pokyo. Nice. Uh-oh. Mom. I'm so happy I passed the rest of the qualification test, so this interview is the only thing standing between me and astronaut training. I have a good feeling about this. Next time we all get together at the tavern, we'll be celebrating. Okay. Oh no. That wine is just not worth it, in my opinion, to buy. Hey, look, the other. Oh, actually, the lady in the morning did sell cheese whiz. Anyway. Looking for. Oh yes, the auto fertilizer, silver kelp S5. That's what I need by tomorrow. I also need to get my seeds up to silver. To people. Say hi to the people. This gotta be the best quality wine. Is it yours? Absolutely not. Our herb plants died. None of them can survive the winter snow. This fair might not be up to our usual standards, but it's quaint. I have to keep an eye on the time. The journey back home isn't exactly a short stroll. That's true, you do live far. Oh, honey, we can't stay out too late. I've never seen the beach this crowded. You did that yesterday. It's just nice being here with everyone. But it's a bit overwhelming. Yeah, you said that yesterday. Just trying to blend in. What is it? Can you believe this doctor? Okay. I don't travel in winter. I'm afraid the truck might get stuck in the middle of a snowstorm. I'm trying to come up with a song, but I'm drawing a blank. Maybe it's the universe telling me to just... Okay, we said that yesterday. Just soaking in the winter fair vibes. What are you up to? We'd best hope the vines surrounding pufferfish don't reach us. Taco, he's busy napping. Okay. He likes napping here, Taco. I'd bring him over to the house, but I don't want to wake him. I'll just hang out here with him. People have complained about the store being too cold, but unfortunately, I have to keep the cooler on to keep the produce fresh. The store is always a bit unbearable in the winter. Can't do anything about it. This town was already okay. Said that yesterday. So much to do, so little time. Wish I could. You said that yesterday too. Yep, you said the same thing yesterday. I think you said the same thing too. Ooh. A lot of stuff here. I'm gonna buy hash browns because it's good. Good for. And let me just get the green tea for this man. Since he's here. Everyone told me the roots at the beach are gone. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? I'll go with good. Nothing like a hot cup of tea on a cold day. Well, maybe a good company. Care to join? Now that my favorite farmer is here, this fair is complete. Dippo was sharing stories about the days when they used to okay. Oop. Singing a winter carol. Said that yesterday too. Oh. Did they leave? Well, they might have left. No, they didn't. Okay. Trivia we did. do the shooting. Oh. Why am I doing that? I definitely need silver bar. And I could use bronze. Let me guess. First place is gold. Or is it osmium? Gold. Alright, well, we're gonna win. Now that I know not to get the ones with the X's. Yikes. Doggone it. Okay. 180 or 190, we can do it. No, I was trying to get the gold. Yikes. I didn't get it. Yeah. And get that gold. Might have to try this again another day. Annoying. Oh, you can get them when they're sideways. Shoot! Got 2 negatives. I still wouldn't have won. Alright, I'm over this game. No, it's horrible, but I really am. Why are you here? Why don't you use tractors and like modern tools and stuff? Talking to me. I don't know. Oh. Open your mouth. I gotta do it as it's coming up. -2 if it's gray. Okay. No, I. Again tomorrow. Anticipated. Back in my day, we had proper winter fairs. What? So rude. Let me get this garbage. How many more days? Yeah, I think that might be my last day. We'll have 3 days left. And Lily's birthday left. I'll just make sure I get the auto. Ship 5 animal products. Oh. Flying insect scent. Ooh. And fishing. Sam. I said hello to all those people and that's it? Okay. Wow. Oh, I didn't have any wool. I haven't heard from the people underwater. I think I was. No mail. Got lots of fruit. Lots of silver. Done now. Gotta remove, okay. Stay though. One of them is yes. Osmium. I might be supposed to have whale. No. Well, today was short. Yeah. Forgot I got a ship bag. Let's see if I stayed today. Oop, wouldn't be getting that. And he wouldn't be getting. Well, yeah, he would. That says silver and bronze. Oh, and I would give. Would I give duck eggs? I don't think I should give duck eggs. Anyways, that's all I'm gonna do for today. Right. So thanks for hanging out and hope you have a good rest of your night.